Yes, I
That's the
am.
truth.
Yeah, and so we'll go ahead and get to the top story.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mike
Good.
being like a big softy, Trey Miguel, and I covered this on Brace for Impact, but JD hasn't had a chance to speak on this. So Trey Miguel last week was signed by AEW with the other three members of the Rascals: Zach Wentz, Desmond Xavier, and Myron Reed. They came in as a package deal, very much so like, I think this was Tony Khan's Rascals or Radicals moment, right? Like the night before TNA is having their big night, he signs four of their best wrestlers. The week before, he had signed Jake Doyle, so he did like now he's got five of their best wrestlers, and he's bringing them over. So that was a shot across the bow to TNA. I believe
Okay.
that, and
Mhm.
for sure. Well, as it turns out, and I said this on the Brace for Impact, I was whenever the Rascals had become free agents, I was like, I think they're going to go to AEW, but Zach Wentz and Trey Miguel might find some issues if they do because people are going to dig up some information on them. And that's exactly what happened. Trey Miguel's information wasn't as public as Zach Wentz was. They felt fine with with the stuff that Zach Wentz had done, said posing as Hitler in a picture. The guy that's what got him fired from the WWE back in the day. What they weren't cool with, WBD anyway. WBD dug this up, or somebody dug it up and sent it to somebody in WBD. I don't know how this whole thing worked, but old Trey was in an argument with David Starr back in the day and hit a trifecta of some pretty awful comments. He was homophobic. He was a little bit racist. And he was also anti-Semitic in that argument, and that was a long time ago. They squashed it since then. He had apologized, and thought he had moved on, but somebody in WBD did not think that apology was good enough because he's no longer a member of that roster. And so AEW cuts the guy, gives him an unconditional release, and he showed up on back in TNA this week, and it was a very emotional thing for him to come back. And then Tom Hannafin, and I thought this was cool, JD. I think you like this. Trey Miguel, the worst week of his life.
Mm-hmm.
They bring him on. He's super emotional. And Tom Hannafin says the words, TNA Wrestling is proud to announce that we have re-signed Trey Miguel back to the TNA family. And I thought that was cool. It's that's how you get your guys back. And they had the guys back. And so anyway, Trey Miguel's back in TNA, man. What do you think of this whole situation?
Good. I'm glad he's got a job.
Yeah.
I think Trey Miguel is a very talented wrestler. And I'm not gonna go cancel culture, man, because I don't think it's real. Very few people are meant to feel the actions of the consequences of their actions. Usually people find a way to monetize their quote unquote canceling. I like listening to people like Scott Baio say, because I'm a conservative, I can't get a job, when no one's hired him since Charles in Charge went off the air. No
except for
Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, I think Fox News pays Scott Baio for those hits.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Kevin Sorbo, it's always people that aren't really, people. Hollywood's a place where if they don't like you as a person, they're just not going to hire you unless you're remarkably talented. So that being said, I think we said this back when Jay Briscoe passed away, and I thought that WBD was too not too harsh. I don't like when I was 25, I was not the best person in the world. I had attitudes that weren't great. I used language that wasn't great. It's nothing that I would want my son to be. And I don't want to be like, I was a product of my environment, but we grew up in a different time. And I'd like to think me at 46, only 45, is a better person. And I like that I didn't have to grow up and change under the scrutiny of a public eye with people that are going to point out all my flaws.
Yeah.
So I really wish that we could allow people like Jay Briscoe, who publicly apologized, who tried to make up for it for years.
And Trey Miguel did too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't like the fact that we don't allow people to get better. We tell people to do better. You hear that all the time. Do better, do better. Okay, I'm trying to do better. And we go, nope, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to do better. You are stuck here forever. I don't like that. I don't like that. Like I said, you can't stop being a staff sergeant. I can't stop being a teacher. I've gotten my ass bitten numerous times. Situation I should tell you about when we're off the air, actually, recently. You try to give people chances. I would much rather give someone a chance and get burned than assume a man can't change.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I really was looking forward to the Rascals as I don't, just having big, fun matches of little consequence in AEW TV because they're good at it. Like, and I enjoy that kind of stuff. So I was kind of bummed because this happened to Trey Miguel the last time the Rascals left TNA.
Yeah.
Remember, we all thought they were going to go over there, and it was just Wentz and Xavier. Like, and Trey was right back in TNA the first time, and I thought that he was going to get an opportunity this time around. And there are people that just won't let that happen. And I feel sad that like you can't take back that you don't have the opportunity to take back your words. I mean, words suck. I understand that. I put a lot of value in words myself, but I just hate the fact that we can't let people say I'm sorry and mean it and try to do better. And it's a guy who seems like he's tried to do better. I don't know. It bugs me.
Yeah, man. And the thing about Trey is like, again, product of the environment, all the excuses he had are like a tough upbringing. Okay, you're not going to accept those excuses, but can you accept the fact that he actually did publicly apologize and that he's been good to people of the different communities that he offended since then and has not had a single issue since then, and that everybody seems to genuinely like. But WBD doesn't care. They are in a merger with, or not a merger. They're actively trying to sell the company to Netflix, and so they don't want anything to disrupt that. And the person that did that to Jay Briscoe is no longer in the company. So this was like a completely different person. Can I squash a conspiracy theory?
You squash a conspiracy theory? That's not how this goes.
I know. Maybe we should do like a whole episode on wrestling conspiracies one day, but that sounds good. We have to figure that out.
I'm in.
Yeah. But there's this whole conspiracy theory from the other JD, the dickhead in New York. Yeah.
That guy's name's not even JD. Do you know how much I hate the fact that that guy has my actual fucking name? Like, that guy just does that for the internet. Like, that's actually my fucking name. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. But he's pinning this whole thing on MJF because Trey Miguel used to date MJF's wife, like when they were younger.
The same MJF that went to bat for Zach Wentz.
That not only went to bat for Zach Wentz, that actually helped actively hire the Rascals, like put in a good word for all of them.
Yeah.
Like including Trey Miguel, helped him get into the company. Mm-hmm. And I didn't go, I wouldn't say I went viral, but I had a significant amount of traction on a tweet where I said, I can't believe there are, or I think I said, I'm hearing that some slow adults out there think that MJF got Trey Miguel fired. And I said that, and like, sure enough, one by one, JD from New York, like his troll army started coming after me. Now I'm better than all of them, so I didn't reply.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So I smartly didn't reply, and they were trying to like get me convinced, like, hey, well, did you know about this? And I'm just like, and Sap was like, MJF got him hired. It's like, what are we doing? Like, it was clearly WBD. Trey Miguel has come out and said, and apologizing for all these issues that he had in his past. He didn't apologize for dating Alicia Toot. He apologized for the shit he said, which is what got him fired.
Like, here's what I can't get over. Like, everybody's got a past except for me. Like, everyone's got exes. Like, you think that MJF cares that his ex-wife, or excuse me, that his wife dated somebody that he actively tried? Like, that's, even for a guy like Max Friedman, that seems to be a bit much. Like,
so
I don't know, man.
Pro wrestling is very like incestual. Essentially, I don't mean that like the way that people would think that. I mean, they all date each other. Yeah. they're all dating and breaking up with each other. It's like, it's just one of those businesses where, like, and there's a lot of men, there's a lot of women, and they're young, and then a lot of them like, they date for a while and then they switch companies and they date somebody else. Like, that's just how that business works. Right. I don't believe for a second that MJF had anything to do with Trey Miguel getting fired. And in fact, if he did, we would know about it by now, because Trey Miguel is not a guy that seems like he can keep a secret. And he wears his heart on his sleeve and says exactly what's on his mind. And so if it was an issue with that, other than, and if it was anything other than him getting canceled because of what he said like years ago, I guarantee he would admit it. But no, he's saying it's because I said all this stupid shit. That's why I got fired.
Dude, John Muse just texted us and said YouTube played a Christy fucking Gnome commercial in the middle of your show. Continue.
Well, I'm just now finding out that John Muse doesn't have YouTube Premium, bro. If you have Verizon, it's only $8 a month. Come on, you got to
Dude, I
upgrade.
don't have YouTube Premium. The kids make fun of me all the time when I play videos in class. Fuck that. I ain't paying $8 a month. I have enough subscriptions. No. I
Yeah,
draw the line somewhere. No.
yeah. YouTube Premium is for me. It's like a godsend because I watch so many like YouTube documentaries and go down rabbit holes, and I watch
No, I do
wrestling
too.
matches. I watch WCW's like a Saturday Night from like 1987.
I do
Like,
too. I do too. But I deal with the commercials, man. I'll be
yeah,
listening to something when I'm in the weight room and I'll just press skip on those commercials. And I'm not doing it. I'm not paying $8 a month. No, I'm done. Done with subscriptions.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I need to consolidate. I got rid of Peacock, but then the NFL playoffs happened. I was like, okay, now I need Peacock, and the NFL playoffs are over, so now I have to cancel Peacock. So got to do
Yeah.
that here soon because I'm not watching like NXT pay-per-views. That's not happening. So,
I mean, other than that, what is there to watch on Peacock this day and age? I don't watch
I
anything, so I don't know.
yeah, I used to watch Quantum Leap, the new one, but they got canceled, and then
Ugh,
I watched the new
terrible.
I watched the new Night Court. That's
I
actually
don't like
pretty
that one.
good.
I kind of
Yeah,
like the new network.
yeah, because it's like the lady that's on it plays what Harry's
Daughter.
daughter.
She's a daughter.
She's really funny.
She is funny. She was on a Big Bang Theory,
She
which
was
I'm
okay.
supposed to hate as a nerd. All nerds are supposed to hate Big Bang Theory, but I thought it was fucking funny. So
I'll be honest, I never watched it.
I
Like I've
never.
seen it, I know of it, but I never got into it, and not because I'm like too cool. It's just I just never did.
I like that one.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so more free agency talk. Will Hobbs has left AEW and he has signed with WWE. Looks like he's going to go under the name Royce Keys, Royce being the name of his son. So that was a story that came out. I think Corey from Body Slam had that story. But look, Will Hobbs is a guy that it's probably time for him to go. I think.
I hate the name. I hate the name Royce Keys. I think it sounds like one of those terrible WWE names they come up with. That being said, I get where he's coming from. He had reached a certain point in AEW. He's a little bit older, a little bit more injury prone. I
Yeah.
don't think he's got a ton of charisma, and I think that holds him back a little bit. He's got an amazing look. Amazing look. And Tony really kind of discovered him. That guy, nobody had heard of that guy really, except for some San Francisco area indie fans until he showed up on. You had heard of him? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. San Francisco area indie fans.
I was in wrestling school with him for a whole day.
I remember you did tell
Yeah.
me that. I forgot about that. Like he's a brick shit house. Like I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think he could have gotten a crack at AEW's main event scene. So I think you got to try. You got to try. You got to gamble on yourself. But that's what's great about the wrestling world right now is we have 3 companies. 5 if you include the two big overseas companies where you could try to make a name for yourself, where there's opportunities if it's not working somewhere. I think this is the best thing that can happen in wrestling. I like motion. I like the fact that guys are moving back and forth between WWE and AEW now. It reminds me when we were kids in WCW, WWF. I love it.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. I was like, why am I supposed to like when the Rascals all showed up on AEW? I was like, that's awesome. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, did TNA take a hit? Yeah. Will they rebound? Of course. They'll just get somebody else. Like those guys were not like significant business drivers. But I really enjoy their work. Right. So when they and Jake Something was a guy that needed to go. Right. He had been in that company for 8 years. It was time.
100%. I think same with Ethan Page when he left AEW a couple years ago. I saw 0 in Ethan Page for years. I thought he was annoying as fuck when he was in TNA. The whole karate guy thing was dumb.
Yes.
I did like him in Darby and Evolve. That was a really good indie feud. Great shit. Kenny Johnson had some really cool documentary stuff. Evolve back in the day was kind of cool. I thought he was a geek in AEW. I still think he's a geek in WWE, but his type of geek works there better than it works in AEW.
Right. He plays the type of character that WWE covets that audience really likes, right? And so that type of character just doesn't work in AEW. He tried it for a little bit. And but now he's in a place that actually like it's a scheme fit. When you're talking like if you break it down to like football analytics, it's a scheme fit. This running back doesn't work for this offense. He works for this offense over here. I look at it the same way with WWE. Ethan Page is perfect for what they do. I think Will Hobbs is actually perfect for what WWE does, and I think that they'll. I would look. I hope, right? I get my hopes up with them a lot when they get somebody. I'm like, I hope that they will, present him well. And I don't see him ever being like their world champion or anything like that. But I think that he could be like like a guy and like get pushed every now and then. But that's kind of what he was doing in AEW too. You get pushed every 6 months. But when you're in WWE, you know you increase your global profile, and this is probably his last chance to really make it
Mhm.
at a high level in pro wrestling. So I'm super excited for Hobbs, and I'm excited to I like I like this stuff. I like seeing guys jump ship. Like I think the rumors of Jericho appearing on anywhere is like fun.
Oh yeah, agreed. Look at Ricochet, right?
Yeah,
Ricochet had been written off as just a flippy guy. Like his best run was probably as Prince Puma in Lucha Underground, where he wore a
100%.
mask.
Yeah,
Like, and then he shows up in AEW, and it turns out, holy shit, this guy's had a big personality the whole fucking time, and none of us knew it. Like he's having his best run right now. And I adore Rick. He's not only is he a flippy guy, but he's a flippy guy with two big jacked up goons, and he's annoying as fuck on Twitter. It's great. Like again, we would not know that if we didn't have this type of back and forth. Like I think we need more of it. I would like to see some more guys make their way to TNA too now. Like now that people are leaving, it's opening up some doors. Like I think this is great for wrestling. Truly do.
yeah. Speaking of possibly going to TNA, Tommaso Ciampa announced that he's leaving the WWE. He's getting close to 40, got a bad neck, was in NXT forever,
Ever.
probably one of the most enduring stars. He's been on the main roster the last couple of years. Did not seem to work out for him on the main roster. Although I think him and Gargano they had some big matches, but I just don't think that they ever yeah, their ship had sailed essentially as a tag team by the time they got to the main roster. It looks like he is interested in New Japan, but I just see him as like a guy that would like go in and be like Mike Santana's like feud. Like I just think that he would be a good guy for Santana to feud with, but I don't know. What do you see
I
from
think
Champa?
the fact that he's interested in New Japan is interesting right now because they need some new gaijin.
They
Right.
do.
I think they need an influx of gaijin. I think that New Japan has to come to terms with the fact that they failed on this crop, like their young boy crop.
Yeah.
The Ren Naritas of the world, none of them have panned out, and they need to find new people. And I think having a guy like Tommaso Ciampa, who I think still can have a good match, I think he could still go over and have that New Japan style of match. And they need people. They're kind of where they were in the pre-Tanahashi days, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting off New Japan right now again. I mean, they got a lot of people that are leaving, but a lot of the Japanese talent are kind of played out right now. So it's like, okay, Naito's gone. Okay, Bushi's gone. All right, Hiromu's gone. Oh, okay, fine. Like, find me you got this great dojo system, move him up. Maybe go make an offer to Kento Miyahara. Like, do
Yes.
something cool, change it up a little bit. But the problem with New Japan over the last years has been it's been very stagnant for a long, long time. I don't know if this is Gato in his booking tendencies, but they need some new shit over there in New Japan. Do I think Ciampa could do stuff in TNA? I do. He cuts a very good promo.
Yeah.
I wonder if he just wants away from WWE in general, and being
Like
in TNA would be a little bit too tangential to WWE.
right. Because when you go to TNA, you're still essentially kind of
The same thing.
it's like you're like their cousin. Like
Mhm.
you're still in the family. Um here's a question from AWN 415. It says, do people not want to go to TNA because of their affiliation with WWE? What's the stigma? People don't want to go to TNA because TNA doesn't pay very much money a lot of times.
I think
So
that's
like
what it
that, yeah. So but people will go to TNA like because they like money. If TNA is willing to pay them, they will go. But you also got to remember that TNA has a small roster because of their budget is different than like eight and Dave. I don't know why Dave felt the need to correct this that I said. I said
because Dave.
AEW. I know. He's like, well, actually, I was like, hold
Uh,
on, Dave, relax,
Davis
dude.
Davis Davis King will actually. I
Yeah,
just
yeah. But I said that AEW, like TNA is competing with AEW, and AEW doesn't have like a salary cap, and they don't have like a cap on the roster size. They can kind of go as big as they want, essentially. And well, Dave goes, well, actually, they do have a salary cap. If not, then they would be signing every top WWE. I was just like, no, that's not what I meant. I just meant like if Tony Khan really, really, really wanted somebody, he has the access to the and the resources to be able to get who like almost whoever he wants outside of the top tippy top WWE names. But I tell you what, if Roman Reigns did just want to leave WWE, Tony Khan could afford him. I think.
a
I think
heartbeat.
Tony. Yeah, I think so. And that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
because it was at the time when the Rascals and Jake Doyle went to AEW. I was like, well, look, this is who they're competing against, and these guys don't have a salary cap. TNA has like they have a parent company that provides them a budget that they got to kind of stick to, so they keep their roster size small. So when they lose people, that's when you start to see them bringing more people in. So just because somebody gets released, that doesn't mean they're going to bring them in. You gotta like people gotta like the contracts got to fall off the books before they're able to bring more people in. So
hold on. No,
Dave's great.
Dave is the man. Like,
Dave's awesome.
This is not an anti-Dave Meltzer show, but we will say the man, like on Twitter, he is also a troll. Like Dave Meltzer is one of the most important voices in wrestling history. And if you have a problem with that, you're sucking off Bruce Pritchard too much and you're a fucking idiot. So that being said, TNA is very much like Memphis, right? In the 80s and 90s. Like they have their core guys. You're always going to have Jerry Lawler. You're always going to have Bill Dundee. Right, that's your core, and then you have the guys underneath them. You'll have their kids, and you'll have the people that are hardcore to Memphis. Then you got the talent coming in and out the door. Right, that was the lifeblood of that company for years. And TNA is very, very much of that same mindset. Yeah. And this is good because we need them. They've been a little lazy, in my opinion, about finding new people.
Yes,
they've been. I mean, other than Leon Slater, who's been a gold mine for them, they need to go stretch themselves and find new talent. They got to scour those indies and find guys that have slipped through the cracks, like Tony did with Powerhouse Hobbs during the pandemic, right? Yeah. Nobody, like I said, nobody but Mike Gilbert knew who, and probably John LaRocca. Knew who Powerhouse Hobbs was prior to the pandemic. And Tony found him and, made a guy with him. Or like when Ricky Starks was bounced around Texas Indies for years before Billy Corgan gave him a shot with the NWA. Then he winds up in AEW. Now he's in WWE. Like, this is how wrestling always was in the 80s and 90s. And we got away from that for too long. And now we're getting back to that. Like, I think the wrestling ecosystem is so much better this way. And I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I'm happy. A lot of healthy companies means talent can just kind of jump back and forth, right? So that they lose their gig one spot or their contract's coming up, they're like, hey, I can bet on myself. I have all these other places to go, right? Now, I'm surprised that people are looking at New Japan because I just don't think they got the money.